Okay, so we're here with Paralandra on Sunday, September the 5th. Let's go around and everybody introduce themselves first, and we'll start there.
Yeah, my name is Cassandra Carson. I'm the lead vocalist and guitarist for Paralandra.
I am Dakota Watson, the drummer and backup vocalist for Paralandra.
I'm Paul Carson. I do guitar and backup vocals.
I'm Sawyer Reichert. I play bass for Paralandra.
Nice. Okay, so let's start a little bit about, some of these are typical questions that you guys get asked all the time, but like the inception of the band, how you guys came together, and then what was that connection, that moment that you knew that this band was actually going to do something and go somewhere?
Well, it started in 2013. This is my dad, in case you didn't know.
I did not know.
So me and my dad have been writing songs like pretty much my whole life.
Fantastic.
Yeah, in 2013 is whenever we finally decided, like, let's just try and do this on a stage and see what people think. And it was a local county fair, and we had like a little sign-up sheet, or like just a little piece of paper. And we were like, okay, if you guys like what you're hearing, write down your name and your email, and we might decide to record something one day, and if so, we'll let you know. And by the end of the night, we had like tons, like so many sheets of paper filled up, and we were like, oh my gosh.
Excellent.
So people like what they're hearing. That's cool.
Right.
So we just continued on. We're like, let's book another show, I guess. So,
Question mark?
So we booked another show, which was with these guys who happened to be in a different local band at the time called Crowning Alice.
Okay.
And we had our eyes on them immediately after that show. We were like, okay, what if we had that bass player and that drummer, though? Like,
They were scheming.
We're going to recruit. We're going to go recruit.
So, anyways, fast forward, a few years later, we added Sawyer, and then a couple years ago, we added Dakota finally.
Excellent.
And this is like the lineup that, we've really dreamed of since the beginning, since, I guess, the second show.
Right.
So, I guess probably like the first moment that we ever played together being like NAMM. I guess the NAMM show was your first show.
Very nice.
Dawkins.
Dawkins, that's right.
Oh, well, that's okay, too.
So, our first show with Dakota, with this lineup, was with Dawkins in Springfield.
Very
and
nice.
It was so much fun. And, I mean, I knew immediately, like, this is what it needs to be.
Sure.
And, I felt that way anyways. Just, like, being on stage is, like, something just, I don't know, it's spiritual for me.
Sure.
It's my happiest place, I guess.
Very
So
nice.
I've known from the beginning that this is something that I've wanted to do my whole life.
Okay.
But absolutely, getting this lineup made me realize that this is like a career, like a life thing.
Got it. So that was the connection. That's what sparked it. Excellent.
Long explanation. Sorry.
Girl, that's what I like. I want you guys to indulge as much
Okay,
as you
good.
can. So.
You'll get all the details.
Okay, good. Bring it. So talk a little bit about your writing strategies. Is it kind of collaborative? Do you all do your own parts and then bring it together? How do you guys do that?
Yeah, typically it starts with either me or my dad having a song idea.
Okay.
And sometimes it'll be a fully fleshed out song that, one of us brings to practice. A lot of the time it's like a guitar riff or a melody idea, something like that. And I'll take my idea to Dad, and he'll help me expand upon it, or he'll bring his idea to me, and then we end up taking it to band practice. And then Dakota and Sawyer kind of help us like trim the fat, I guess,
Sure.
Arranging and giving the song the feel that it needs.
Okay.
So, yeah, I could say it's very collaborative on all parts.
Okay. All right. So, the way that recording is now, especially in a COVID age, everybody's separate. Do you guys prefer kind of hunkering down in a studio and just, banging it out? Or do you prefer kind of working on your own parts and then bringing it together? Let's let Dakota take that one.
So I prefer just hunkering down and doing it. Because I think that if you take a break at the wrong point in time, you lose all motivation and inspiration.
Okay.
So when we recorded this newest album that's getting ready to come out, it was kind of both, because we lived together in the same house, recorded in the same place, but we all did it at different times.
Okay.
So even though we were all together for almost a month, we were all together in the same place, helping each other, like especially whenever they were laying down guitar tracks, just throwing notes here and there, try this, try that.
Right.
So it was kind of like we were doing it on our own, just because we were doing one instrument at a time.
Sure.
I was 3 days, Sawyer was 2 or 3 days, I believe.
Yeah.
And then guitars were next, and then vocals. So it's very regimented, but at the same time, we were all together helping each other. So it's a different style of doing it. And I know back in the day, you would just set up some mics in a room, and everybody would just basically play a show.
Yep.
Which, Van Halen has pulled it off for their entire career doing
Right.
that.
Right.
But I think it definitely helps all of us being together the whole time. Like I said, if we take a break, I feel like it kind of just we lose the flow.
Definitely.
So
Absolutely.
it's good to stay, just like keep your mind on it and keep the wheel going forward. So
Very cool.
in my opinion.
Not only that, but I mean, when we're not recording, we get together 2 nights a week for band practice, and on most weeks we're together 2 other nights for shows on Friday and Saturday. So we're together more than we're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say your tour's pretty extensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you guys are all the time playing.
Yeah,
That's-
nonstop.
But man, but that's the dream, right? I mean, when you set out, that's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
So, very cool. And that's nice that you guys get to do that. So your second album is getting ready to come out. So talk a little bit about, I'm going to let you take this one. Talk a little bit about how you guys have grown since the first album. And
Okay.
as far as writing, playing, all that good stuff.
Right. I think this one is seems like it's a very normal thing for artists to say this is the most real of our albums and the most organic, but this is the truth because we hashed all these sounds. I'm just gonna start over.
It's okay.
We hacked.
I'm
all,
typing it out. It's not going to be live. So
Oh,
go
you're
ahead. I'm typing it all. I'm
Okay,
editing.
perfect. We hacked all this slosh out. No, we hashed all these songs out together, and then when we sent them to Elvis, the producer,
Right.
I mean, they were all done, and we played them live, and he was like, "I've literally been doing this since the '90s. I've never had a band give me their music. I've never had a band that had the balls to send me a live recording of them playing. It's always these computer tracks and."
And if anything, he told us that a lot of the bands he works with doesn't write anything until they're at the studio.
That's
with
true.
him.
as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
they'll spend, like a month or 2 writing the album with Elvis, and then they'll record it. And 8 songs are on this album. We had 16 or 17 ready to go.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we sent him everything so that he could choose what he liked, and
Yeah.
then we could narrow it down from there. And
Okay.
then he could come in and kind of produce and shape the song into
I mean,
what it
it's-
is on the album.
Excellent.
It's funny
Okay.
because he's done like every band you've ever heard of, including our heroes like Alter Bridge
Oh,
and
nice.
Wolfie Van Halen,
Uh,
the Mammoth.
Man, he did
Yeah.
Iggy Smalls.
Yeah.
Like he's done literally.
Oh,
everything.
wow. He's done
Yeah.
everything.
Seven Dust. I mean,
Oh, they were just
Rat,
here.
he did Rat's
Yeah.
comeback album.
Very
so
cool.
anyway,
Excellent.
it was interesting that this was new for him.
Yeah.
It's like bands just don't do this anymore. Everybody's doing it on a computer. They're recording their guitar parts on a computer and editing the crap out of it.
Right.
And recording their vocals and editing the crap out of it until it sounds good. And you guys literally just played a live version of all your songs. And so that was something that was kind of interesting and different about this whole process. So this album that we just did, to answer your question, is definitely the most organic thing because this has not been like anything we've ever done before.
Okay.
It's always been, okay, we get into the studio, sit in front of a computer, plug your guitar in, plug your mic in,
We actually got to use our own guitars. We got to use our own amps.
Okay.
Dakota got to play his own drums. A lot of the time,
Live
this stuff
drums.
is just programmed.
Sure.
the
And
majority
Right.
of the time.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah.
artists never play their own drums anymore. You don't know that, but
So do you think, now that you guys have done that, do you think you've kind of set the tone for what he may want in the future? Do you think maybe he'll expect that a little bit more just
I
because
guess
you
it's
guys have set that
possible.
tone?
Yeah.
from
So-
us, for sure. I
For
don't know
sure.
if you would expect that from anyone else, but yeah,
Awesome.
that's definitely the way that we prefer to do it. Is like the natural, organic way.
and he really enjoyed it. So I was happy about that. We got together or got along so well.
Good.
It was a great fit.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
but-
not have been better.
And how did you guys connect with him? So how did that come about?
He was like, we had our manager just send an email to his management just to see what would happen.
The
We
second
did not,
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah, that's true. We've actually tried to record with him in the past, but we were like, let's just see if he responds. It would be so cool to record with Elvis. He's like our number one,
It's a bucket list.
dream,
Yeah.
bucket
Yeah.
list guy to record with. And so, then he responded and said he was interested, and he said he liked the music that he was hearing. And so we were like,
Did you,
Okay,
did you
yes.
get all fangirl?
yes, yeah, we did. We freaked out, and I'm still freaking out. And yeah,
That's
it was
so
awesome.
cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll have each of you answer this. What is your favorite element of the new album? I'll let you start since you guys are eating. Go ahead.
My
What's your favorite
favorite
element of this new album?
Okay, wow. this is gonna sound so pretentious, and I'm sorry.
Girl, lay
But
it out. It's good.
I love the way my vocals came out on this album.
That's not pretentious. That's being honest.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you. I've worked with some producers that try to shape me into sounding like someone else.
Sure.
You know, and that gets really frustrating because they're like, well, you need to sing it like this because what you're doing isn't right, or I need it to sound cleaner or whatever. But like Elvis totally accepted me and my vocal style with open arms, and he let me sing the way that I wanted to sing, and I am really proud of how it came out. So yeah,
That's fantastic.
I think that would be my favorite.
I would say, like, the power of the album, not in that, like, which the message of the lyrics, of course, is great, but, like, everything is just so in your face.
Okay.
Like, audio-wise, it's just so, it punches you in the face with sound. Like, it's so just aggressive and big sounding. It's like a wall of sound hitting you. And I played the drums very open on this album, so the guitars shine through, the bass comes through, there's a ton of bass, low end grumble coming in.
Very
Like, it
cool.
just sounds huge, and I love that. I love just being blasted with sound whenever you listen to something, because it makes you, it's more of an experience, I think.
I
So
love that.
probably the power of it would be for me.
You have fantastic. Not that you don't all have fantastic answers, but I'm digging. I mean, it's just the thoughtfulness that goes into those answers on the spot is very, very unique. I dig it.
I appreciate that.
Your turn.
I mean, I probably would say I love the eclectic nature of the album.
Okay.
It is not like our last album was really good, sounded good, I thought, but very, very much like you hear one song and you kind of have the flavor of the album.
Okay.
This one, you hear one song, you do not have an idea of what's coming next.
Okay.
Like, it is all over the place, which is something I've always loved, like out of Elton John or the Beatles or some of these, like Queen.
Oh.
You'll get an album
Yeah.
and you don't know what's coming next, you know, and it's an adventure, you know. And this album is very much that. Like, there is not a set style, I would say. with this
Yeah,
album.
I don't think there's a single song that like sounds like another song. I mean, maybe that's something that a lot of artists say about their songs, but yeah, I feel like every single one of them has their own vibe
Definitely.
and own feel.
So it's fun. It's fun
Yeah.
to listen to. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
I can say a million things about this album. I'll narrow it down to two. I'm going to echo what Dakota said with everything being way up front, especially the rhythm section, because I feel like in previous albums, the bass in particular has been somewhat buried. That's just my personal opinion, and it's a lot more up front in this album, so I like that. But the main thing I'm going to say is not even so much about how the album sounds, but my favorite element of the album was just the whole process of the album. From writing the songs from scratch at band practice all the way till our last day at the studio was just such an incredible experience and a great bonding experience with not only the band but Elvis's crew in Florida, and it was just truly the time of my life.
There was never like a bad experience.
It was the
just
best.
kept getting better and better, whether writing or recording.
I'll say I'm definitely a homebody. When we're on tour, I cannot wait to get home. I just love home. When we were recording the album, I did not want to leave.
Wow.
I did not want to leave.
Wow. And was that because of the well, and this might be, I may have answered my own question. Was that because of the connection between all of you? Was it because of what you were accomplishing? Was it because of what Elvis was doing?
It was everything. It was the connection. It was the ambiance of the whole place. Like, we had an in-ground pool that we swam in all day. There was a great restaurant in walking distance. Like,
So it was more than just work.
Bacon, eggs, and
Yeah.
mimosas for breakfast.
Dude.
It was
Yeah,
just
That's the only way to record.
It was just the best time.
And a lot of that has to do with also Elvis Basquet, our producer, and his team.
Yeah.
Like, they were the most hospitable guys you could ever
Yeah.
hope to meet or work with.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
it was like,
Felt like
I don't know who
family.
mentioned it, but we hit it off day one, and we felt like we had known them our entire lives. It was just that easy.
See, and you know what's crazy is that that's nice to hear because they don't always know how to treat the artist.
Yeah.
The talent doesn't always get treated the right way.
Yeah.
You know, it's work and it's not, you know, and I think there has to be so much more of a connection, you know, especially if you're going to make something that you're going to be proud of, and that's going to stand the test of time and all that. There's got to be so much more. So that's really
Yeah,
refreshing
and
to
we clearly
hear.
never met him before, so it's
Sure.
kind of like, you're rolling the dice going,
Right.
hey, you don't know how it's going to be,
Right.
but it was incredible.
So,
Perfect fit.
so you had the perfect fit and, the perfect outcome. So,
Yeah.
man, how very cool for you
Hope
guys.
that everybody else agrees. When
That's
it
right.
drops.
So talk a little bit about, we've got a couple more. So you guys have played different festivals, South by Southwest, you've been here. Talk a little bit about how the receptions are different in different parts of the country at different festivals.
Oh yeah, well, I guess starting with South by Southwest, that's a crazy crowd.
Dude, Austin is so cool there.
Woo!
God, I love Austin.
Last time we played South by, there were 2 shootings in the street.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it was kind of exciting.
that's not cool in Austin.
that was
But
not the cool
music's
part.
cool.
Yeah, no, I feel like every time we play in Texas, like the people are so into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like another energy. And same with Florida.
Florida, too.
Yeah.
Man.
And Wisconsin is nuts,
Wisconsin.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wisconsin, those people love rock
Yeah.
so
Nice.
much.
Rock
Okay.
music and cheese. It's like in the blood.
Yeah.
And Green Bay.
Yeah.
And Green Bay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Those places, yeah, they love it. We love going there.
The cool thing about festivals too is that people that go, more chances than not, they don't know every band that's playing.
Sure, right.
So everybody is always so receptive to new music,
Right.
Yeah.
and everybody's there for music.
Right.
It was just like when we went to NAMM, there was no because everybody at NAMM is either a producer, engineer, or musician.
Right. Yep.
There's no
Yep.
fluff,
Right.
And there was never any competition. There was never any try to get a deal before somebody else, or try to get a better deal, or get this endorsement, or
Nice.
it wasn't about business. Like at NAMM and at all these festivals, it's all about just hearing great music, enjoying being with everybody else, being around everybody, being outside on such an awesome day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Festivals and NAMM and things like that, it's just all about the music. So all the egos go aside,
Right.
and then everybody can just enjoy themselves so much more because everybody's there for the same reason. So,
It's a great time.
I really hope you guys keep having these positive experiences because, it's just you guys are just so cute. I'm like, I don't want anybody to be ugly to
We've
you.
had plenty
it's
of
just-
negatives.
Yeah.
We have had that.
We're not talking about those. We're talking about all the nice
How much
stuff.
time do you have?
I just like to focus on the compliments.
That's right. We don't listen to those negative people. They suck. Okay, so the last question, and I want each of you to answer this. Besides merch, you're not allowed to say merch. When people leave your show, what do you want them to take with them? No merch.
I want them to take with them a feeling similar to how I feel on stage. It is a rush. Like whenever I go to concerts and see somebody that's really just blown my mind, and I leave and I'm inspired.
Right.
And oh my gosh, I need to work on my craft. That was incredible. What an experience. It's almost like going to church,
So funny that I'm sorry, I had to interrupt you. I just saw Black Crows at Red Rocks last week, and that was
yeah.
my exact thought. I told everybody that was like going to church. It was amazing.
Exactly.
So I understand that completely.
That is what I would like people to leave with.
Very cool.
I honestly feel the same way. It's awesome if people wear our shirts out, and it's awesome if people remember our songs so they can sing with it if they come to another show.
Sure.
But if people have an experience, if I get goosebumps listening to certain music. I want people to feel that.
Yeah.
I want them to have a full in and out of body experience. I want them to feel everything when they come to see us. I want them to feel the excitement of if we're playing fast or something. I want them to feel the depth of our more emotional songs. I just want them to be impacted, not by lyrics or not by guitar riffs, not by drum parts. I just want them to be impacted by how they felt when they watched us and listened to us.
Yeah.
That's most important to me.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, agreed. When we started this, it was very intentional that we wanted to have a positive impact, and there were a lot of bands that we could possibly be compared to, but there was one thing, and it's that there was so much negativity. There was, and sometimes just kind of grossness to it. I don't know what other word to put.
Okay.
But depravity or whatever.
Or vulgarity.
Vulgarity. Things that just gravitate towards kind of the darker side of life or whatever.
Okay.
So, it was very intentional. We wanted to leave people with a positive message,
Okay.
to give them hope, to give them a sense that they are loved, a sense that
Sense of reassurance.
and that there's something out there bigger than their problems, you know.
Right.
And so it kind of also sounds like going to church, but you know, being brought up in church, and like my first real concert was Petra.
Oh, okay.
You know, and that's what I got from them. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, I didn't know I was a musician when I walked into that concert. And by the end of it, like I felt like God had given me a direction for my life, and I could not go to sleep that night. All I did was pace the halls, and it was just like, boom! Like I was injected with something, and it turned my life in a different direction. And I'm like, I want to give that to people. Ever since then, I'm like, I want to give people that same feeling, and it's kind of a redirection. And so that's what we're shooting for. I mean, at least in our lyric writing and
Yeah. That's a great answer. Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but my funny answer is a lot of older women like to leave shows with strands of my hair.
Oh,
That is very.
that's a little frightening.
It keeps me up at night. But my serious answer is I want to leave people thinking that there is no way that they can possibly miss our show next time we come to their city. It's not even a question. They have to be there. So just putting on an amazing performance that wows people, something that they've never seen before.
Dig it. Very good answer. Well, that was all I had for you guys.